everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today, y'all, to talk about this mess between Tamar and Tank. Did y'all see all of that back and forth they did just over this past weekend? Child, look, these folk ain't gonna worry me. But what I read is that Tamar had apparently, towards the end of last week, put out a tweet that said that she had fired her entire band. And the reason Tamar gave is because she said they did not show up for a show. They decided instead to attend the Essence Music Festival. Now, she was upset because from what I'm understanding, instead of using a live band, she had to use a DJ. And she claims she did it because she wanted to, explain to her fans what happened. Well, I guess Tank had an opportunity to read, Tamar's tweet. And I guess for some reason he took offense to it and he called himself defending the band. And basically what he told her is that, jokingly, he had her band, he was holding them hostage, and that maybe someone in her camp basically got their signals twisted and didn't, relay information to her, why the band wasn't there. And as I'm telling this story, y'all, I'm inserting some of the tweets back and forth between them because it got really nasty. Well, after Tank made that comment, basically Tamar told him to mind his fucking business. This was her band, and she put out the tweet because she needed to explain to her fans what happened and that he was being messy. She called him a queen, said something like she knew that he wanted to be a husband, but how do you tell your wife about your mistress, and all kinds of stuff, talked about, him saying that he liked to have his ass munched on, and it just got really nasty. And as I'm talking about this, you can pause the video and read the tweets that I found back and forth between these two. But the reason why I wanted to do this story is because, y'all, this social media stuff has gotten to be really crazy, y'all. This beefing back and forth of some of, the industry's biggest celebrities, for them to do it where we can read it. And the reason why I have a problem with that is because think about this. First of all, Tamar said that she needed to do this to advise her fans of what happened. Now, y'all, I'm going to stop right there because Tamar isn't the first celebrity, the first singer who's probably had a problem with a band and some shady shit went on and they were scrambling at the last minute. But I'm going to take say a Miss Whitney Houston or some of the big greats like that. You don't think Whitney had times where shit went shady at towards the beginning of a show? We never saw Whitney's camp come on to social media. And yes, social media was out there when Whitney was alive, y'all. And come on and blast different people. Whitney was fired from an award show at the last moment because of her drug use. We didn't see her come on and act a fool on social media. What I'm saying is there's a way to do it. Tamar could have been upset at them and she could have done it professionally and not took it to social media. So when she got the response back from Tank on social media and then tells him to mind his business, well, Tamar, you put the business out there for him to respond to it. And then once they have butted heads that first time, once they had collided, she sent out a tweet, he responded, and then she came back. They should have stopped right there. And they should have, because they say that they are friends, that they are friendly, I should say. They should have picked up the phone and called each other, because maybe their was a misunderstanding. Now, the background story is that the band is saying that the reason why they didn't show up is because they haven't been getting paid. And they're saying that they haven't been paid in a couple months. Now, let's stop right there. I'm inclined to kind of believe the band, and here's why. A loyal band, if they did not get paid, say, just a couple weeks ago, and it was a one-time thing, they would not up and desert their artists. They would not do that because they know that in doing that, it could sully their names in the industry and they wouldn't get any more work. So there has to be something else that prompted them not to show up for her show. It's almost like they were boycotting her or trying to teach her camp a lesson. And then that brings me to Vince. Maybe Vince knows something, or Vince and the band had a run-in and the band said, fuck it, they're not going to show up. I think that maybe what happened is kind of the same thing that happened when Tamar got fired from the Real. Vince knows something and he didn't let her know, and she went all out there on social media before she had all the facts, and it left her with egg on her face, because I just don't believe that her band would do that to her for not being paid for maybe one time. You see what I'm saying? So just say that the very last show that they did, there was some discrepancy with pay, and Vince came to them and said, look, I know you guys haven't been paid. Don't worry about it. I got you. We're going to get this straightened out. Tamar has this show, this, that, and the other day. Just make sure you're there. You're going to be paid for the show that we missed as well as the current show. And, they could trust what he was telling them. But something has happened that this band said, fuck her, we're going to go someplace else where, we're going to get paid. We can't not keep getting paid. We have families, bills of our own, and we have to be paid for the work that we do. So maybe what they decided to do is someone else offered them a gig, and maybe they double booked. Maybe they said, well, look, we're going to see if Tamar and them going to pay us. If it look like it's not, then if it looks like they're not, then we're going over here. I just think this thing that was blown up all over social media with everybody, now the whole public, in Tamar and Tank's feud, it could have been avoided by a phone call. Tamar says that she had plane ticket reservations that she can show, and then Tank says that he had proof of text between her band and Vince, saying, I guess explaining why they weren't coming. Who knows? Maybe Vince knew and he was scared to tell Tamar. Y'all, another thing that I don't like about this, and a lot of people may not agree with this, but I'm just going to put it out there. I know that there have been like rumors swirling around Tank's sexuality and all of that. I don't like this thing that we do as a community where we say on one hand that we support the LGBT community, but on the other hand, we're quick to label a man gay if he does something that does not fit with our image of what a man is supposed to act like. If Tank is really gay or bisexual or whatever, he's never going to come out the closet because of the backlash that he gets surrounding his sexuality. This is what these gay folks are talking about. They're saying we would not be on the down low. We would not have to live these alternative lives if we felt free to say who we are. I don't know what Tank's sexuality is, and frankly, I don't care, because I'm of this belief. What I do in the comfort of my own home and my own bedroom is my business. Whatever lifestyle that I choose to lead in the confines of my own personal life is my business. And I feel that I owe these celebrities that same, that same thing. The their personal life is just that, personal. They give us enough of who they are when they give us their art, their craft. If they're a singer and they're standing on the stage giving a concert, they've done what they committed to do for me. They entertained me. That's why a lot of these celebrities are driven to drink, to do drugs, to commit suicide, because we pound on them for their faults, and then when they crumble under all this scrutiny, and the next thing we know, they're swinging from a chair, or they've OD'd, or they've become an alcoholic, or deep in drugs, to dull the pain that we as their fans put them through. you know it just bothers me, y'all. This thing with Tamar and Tank, they were throwing jabs back at each other, because Tank even mentioned something about, you need to talk to your husband, if that is really your husband, or I don't know if he's still your husband. So it wasn't just on Tamar's part, saying little things about him, because he did come back at her and say stuff. So they were both going at each other. She called him a queen. He talked about her husband and all that, and didn't nobody want to eat her ass and all that. It just, when I was reading, I said, these are two adults. These are two people, that there are younger people out there watching, and this is what they have to look up to, or these are the people that they look up to. Like I said, when you think about the greats, like a Whitney Houston and some of the icons of R&B, Gladys Knight, Smokey Robinson, just them, the Motown folks, the Atlantic artists of the past. We never heard all this shit with the Temptations and all of this. Now, I know we live in a social media environment where it's easier to get out there and say something quick and get yourself caught up in some shit. But there's also a thing of a certain level of decorum. We hold these people to a higher standard because we think of them as stars, have reached a certain level, and that some of us feel is above us, which I don't know why folks put these people up on a pedestal, because clearly they act the fool just like we do, and get into shit on social media just like we do. What I suggest Tamar do is she needs to talk to Vince, because like I said, I believe that Vince knows something when it comes to that band that he did not relay to Tamar, and Tamar jumped out there through anger, because I can agree with her, to be ready to do a show and your band is not there. Can you imagine the panic that girl went through, trying to scramble at the last minute and figure out what to do? I can imagine that is bad. But if it's not the band's fault, you know, and it's your man's fault or someone in your camp because those people didn't get paid, you can't fault them and expect them to work for free. None of us in our personal lives, we go to work and we work our 2 weeks, and at the end of the week, they keep on saying, I got you, but no money is forthcoming. You gonna say, you know what? After a while, you gonna say, fuck this, I'm about to go somewhere where I'm gonna get paid. I'm not gonna keep working, and with not getting paid, I keep getting promises. So, y'all, I don't know what to think of this. I just think that, like I said, Tamar jumped out there maybe before she had all the facts. I think Tank called himself trying to defend the band and got caught up in some bullshit. I think that he shouldn't have thrown, slung arrows at her, and I don't think she should have slung arrows at him. I think they should have picked up the phone as two adults and called each other instead of being out there on social media making fools of themselves. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about this. Thanks as always for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care now.